Congressman, did President Obama's $1 trillion stimulus help the economy, or will it?
Well, I think if you look at the numbers, it's very clear that the stimulus, in fact, hasn't been a stimulus at all. All it stimulated is printing money and borrowing money from the Chinese. We've got a higher unemployment rate than was promised this nation by this administration. If we did nothing, unemployment rate now is 9.5%. The administration said if we did nothing, it would get to 8.5%. 2 million jobs lost since the stimulus was passed. Trillions of dollars going out the door with nothing to account for it and no improvement in the economy. This is a bad idea. You can't borrow and spend your way to prosperity.
Well, President Obama's advisors have floated the idea of a second stimulus. What do you think of that idea?
Well, it probably is a worse idea than the first stimulus because we already have the example that the first stimulus doesn't work. Again, all we're stimulating is the growth of government. And government has never provided prosperity for folks. All it does is steal wealth. So a second stimulus is a terrible idea. That's not to say that there aren't good ideas out there, because there are that will, in fact, stimulate the economy. The problem is the administration, President's plan, Speaker Pelosi's plan, doesn't include any of those parameters.
Tell us about the rebound bill.
The rebound bill is making certain that what we do with Barack Obama's deficit, that we reduce his own deficit, his unsustainable deficit, by his own admission, that we reduce that by stopping the spending of the stimulus money right now. There's $460 billion that hasn't been spent. We ought to stop. There's $150 billion in TARP money that hasn't been allocated. We ought to stop spending that as well. That gets you to decrease the deficit by 1/3 overnight. And then if we took the money that came back in from TARP that institutions are paying back to the federal government and bought down the debt, that would be a step in the right direction as it relates to stimulating the economy.